Greetings, everyone, to another episode of TBIC, the best in sports entertainment. This episode is brought to you by TNS Media and also MechaCare, providing you with an abundance of what you need. Today, we have another special guest. You know, all our guests are special. Today, we got James Sanders. How you doing today?
I'm doing good today. I'm doing good.
Now, today, we also have what you call a special episode because this topic is 3 letters that people may see a lot in sports, and some may not know what it means, and some people do. And those 3 letters are DNP. Brother James, would you mind explaining what that is before we get into the interview?
DNP is basically you did not play in that game, and it was the coach's decision because I feel like every player wants to play in every game, and that happens in every level of basketball, and it depends on how you handle it when it happens.
So yeah, that's a great explanation because that's exactly what a DNP is. Did not play. So now let's dive into your basketball career. At what age did you start playing basketball?
I started playing very early, like elementary school is the earliest I can remember. And ever since then, I just love playing the game. I played almost every day when I was younger. You couldn't get me to stop playing.
Okay, and at what age did you make a basketball team? Like under the whistle, not like the league your grandma had with the crates. I'm talking about actual, like you got a jersey and referees were administering calls.
So it's crazy. Only my first time playing was 12th grade in high school, under the whistle.
And for what school was that?
William Penn.
Now, can you tell us what is the difference from playing basketball under the whistle and playing basketball on the street or not under the whistle? Because you could have been in the gym, but it wasn't no referee.
So the difference between like street ball and like organized basketball is just X's and O's. You got to pay attention to detail. Plays are ran. On both ends, you got to pay attention to detail on offense and defense. And then also you have to deal with the crowd. That can make a play. That could either make or break a player. So you can be really very nervous when you're playing, or you can have the utmost confidence. So it can go either way.
So you, as a player, and speaking on confidence, can you give me a moment in the game where your confidence was broken and a moment where your confidence was built?
So the whole year I played in 12th grade, my confidence was not there. I was nervous, scared, all of the above. So my confidence didn't get better until like later on in the season. Then I started to realize like you don't have to be scared or nervous, just go hoop. And once I got that mindset, that's when I started to get better.
Yeah, because it all started with confidence. Because I wasn't never a Michael Jordan, but I remember him saying basketball was 90% mental, you know, and 10% physical. And I'm not gonna lie, that's not even a concept I probably didn't get to. I was about 30 myself. Whereas though it's like you can mentally trick people out the game. Like it's players like Dennis Rodman's, it's players like Rick Mahorn's. Like, you know, these are not nobody that's going to give you 40 or 50.
Right.
But at the end of the day, you know, they have, you know, some type of control of the game. So do you remember a moment when you had to be Rodman or Rick Mahorn?
Yeah.
And how did you embrace that rule?
So that happened. I don't know if I'm jumping ahead, but that happened once I got to college.
Okay.
And I always used to go to the gym and see the team over there playing, but I was like on the other court playing with the regular guys, I would say.
Okay, what's that called? The little gym or something?
No, it was little gym and the main gym, but they had like A side and the B side.
Okay, so they see you as the B side in the main gym, and then you and also the little gym where you getting to catching all of it.
Yeah.
Okay.
So the be like the Rodman and Rick Mahorn type was when I finally got the opportunity to play with the team. they already had everybody who can do all the scoring and everything. So I'm like, I just got to do everything else. And once I learned that, that actually made me, I had more confidence and started to believe in my skills even more just doing that.
And another thing with that, everything else that you're speaking of, that's called the intangibles.
Right.
You
Yep.
know, for those who don't know, it might be somebody that's great in the game for picking rules. You might can be in the game, could be a certain play where can't nobody throw that backdoor cut, alley oop pass better than you. You know what I mean? So how did you, so transitioning from high school to college, how did you do with receiving those plays in college, that X's and O's? Was that a smooth transition for you, or was it a learning curve?
It was definitely a learning curve because in high school we didn't run a lot of plays. So getting to college, it was a lot of plays that were being implemented. You had to learn them all and basically learn at every position. So to start off, it was very difficult. Like I wasn't getting them at all. But again, once I just calmed down again and just started thinking about it cerebrally, you start to understand plays. And when you hear them, you automatically know where to go. You know what to do. You know what's needed and what's not needed.
Mm. So now the conditioning. You said you were playing basketball, you know, pretty much since about elementary school, correct?
Yeah.
So was it any difference of the strength and conditioning of playing collegiate basketball?
Yeah, big difference. You definitely have to be a lot faster, stronger in every aspect of the game. So like my first game I actually got to play in, I had to run through a screen, and I thought I was going to be strong enough to run through it. And the guy who set the screen, he just did not move,
Mm.
and that took me by surprise. I'm like, oh snap, this is very different. So you had to go to the weight room, get stronger, and those things. So once you did that and realized that, you start to understand like, okay, now I get it. Now I can play a little better and be better.
No, that's definitely understandable. And then, you know, one of the other things as far as about this college basketball, you know, scouting reports, you know, what to do when you defend a player, what not to do. Um, you know, how did you do with receiving the scout reports? Was you a master student of that or no?
Yeah, I definitely was. And the first time I seen a scouting report and I read it, I'm like, okay, I'm reading it, I'm understanding it, and then once you get to the game and you see that what was put on the paper actually works and it is that player's tendencies, you like, okay, your coach did a great job with that. And scouting report is very crucial to a game of basketball, especially collegiate under the whistle.
So, you know, fast forward a little bit, you know, to you being a coach of, you know, AAU players and high school players, is a scouting report something that you implement in your practices of being a coach?
Sometimes yes, when we have the chance to go and scout certain teams, yes, you can implement it, but it's a little tougher for AAU. You can go and watch the other team play. Like if they play before, you can watch them. You may be able to tell like tendencies of certain players and what they like and what they don't like and what makes them uncomfortable. But with AAU, it has to be a little quicker because you don't have much time to get that information relayed to your teammate. I mean your players. So it's a little difficult in that aspect with AAU.
Now, just for fun right now, because we speaking of scouting reports, and I want to make this realistic for those who have no knowledge or understanding, even being explaining. So we're gonna bring this in real time. Okay, I'm the Minnesota Timberwolves. I want you to give me a brief scouting report on what to do with Luka Doncic and AD, being as though that they won that game last night.
With Luca, it's going to be tough, but because he has so many offensive moves that he can get to and that he can use, you just have to try your best to stay in front of him, even though he's not fast.
Okay.
But he's very crafty. And with crafty players, if you do something like reach or try to get them to do something, they have a counter for that. So your best bet is to just try to make the shot for a player like Luca as difficult as possible.
Mm. Well, I like that, man. That might work against Luka. And what you got for how can you stop the GOAT? Like, what would be your scouting report on LeBron? He's not trying to give you 40, but he could.
Right.
But he could just win with 19, 11, and 8. So, like, you got LeBron a scorer and you got LeBron a facilitator. Like, how do you make a scouting report on such a player like that?
With that's very difficult as well. It's like you may be able to say just sag off and let him shoot, but he became a better shooter as he got older. I think with great players like that, you have to do the same thing. You play him tough. You might want to try to send a double team at him to get the ball out of his hands, because if it's out of his hands, you're now relying on the other players to try to beat you, and they may not be as good as LeBron and Luka is at facilitating the offense or getting it going. So my thing, I would just say try to double him at a certain time, give him different looks, and try to get the ball out of his hands as much as you can.
Definitely. Now, transitioning, segueing, since we on the NBA, give me your sleeper team of the playoffs and why. Like a team that's not expected in the playoffs that you think can win it all, and why.
I would say I'm gonna go with the Clippers. That would be my sleeper team. I think that they really have every aspect of a team that you would need. They have a big,
because they do got the great Ben Simmons over there.
Hey, I not like Ben Simmons. I like Ben Simmons. I think he's a good. I don't know what happened to him, but I really do like Ben Simmons as a player. I don't know what's going on with him, but like I said, the Clippers, they have a big, they have a scorer, they have defense. Like they got a good coach. They just have to just put it all together. So I would pick them as my sleeper team.
And it's like, it's only one reason. It's like I wouldn't agree with that, and it's your sleeper team. It's your opinion, so it don't matter if I agree with it or not. But being as though that Kawhi put us to sleep with that corner 3 that time, mid and B and all that cry,
you can't rock with them.
Yeah, no, it's like it's impossible because they got someone that actually did it.
Right.
You know what I mean? So they got a known apex predator on their team. He has been out of commission, for the last seasons. But hey.
But he always come back during the playoffs. Like I don't know how he does it. He take the whole season off and come back during the playoffs and always plays good.
No, that's real. You know what I mean? He's proven. So who you feel like outside of the sleeper team, who you feel like hands down, it just seemed like it's theirs. And to make it fair, I'm going to go first on the East Coast, and then I'm going to go to the Western Conference.
East Coast, I'm going to say Boston.
Okay, why
and
is that?
The reason why is the brand of basketball they play. Like, they go at you offensively and they go at you defensively. Like, they don't give up nothing easy. They're always challenging the best player on the other team to see what they have. Like, and I also like their coach. He's a no-nonsense coach. He's not going to deal with no attitudes. If you're not playing right, you come out the game. And if you are playing good, then you're going to play. But it's just the demeanor that they play with. So that's why I say Boston.
In the Western Conference.
Western Conference, that I don't know. I don't know yet.
That's a Jeopardy question. That's
I'm not sure yet in the Western Conference.
I would say somebody you got
because I feel like the Western Conference everybody can be beat, but I know OKC is a top seed.
OKC is like having a winning margin by like 35 right now.
But they're playing Memphis, who I feel like the Memphis organization messed that team up. So they definitely going to steamroll Memphis.
Now, I don't want to let you say something like that without elaborating on your thought, because the people going to know, well, what you mean by their organization messed up their brand? So elaborate. So
when Memphis was good and they had that run, they traded away key pieces that they needed. Adams, he wasn't the best big, but he fit that system. Dylan Brooks, he wasn't the best player, but he did the stuff. Like, he was a Rodman player.
Yeah.
He did the stuff that you needed him to do. Play defense, get you the ball back, get turnovers, get stops, make his shots when he's supposed to. So I think that they traded away 2 key pieces when they shouldn't have.
They got rid of their dogs.
And you need a dog when you're in the playoffs. Without that, you see what's happening.
Yeah, because it's dog time.
Right.
Playoffs is dog time.
Yep.
Like a lot of stars are born being a stone cold dog.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? You get you a couple of LeBron chase down blocks and all that.
It's the little in basketball. It's the little things that count. Who going to dive on the floor? Who going to get a chase down block? Who going to get a stop when it's needed? You don't have that, then it's going to be tough.
So it's looking like championship is looking like Boston and the Clippers.
No, that's just a sleeper team.
So who? You know, I'm just trying to put together your finals. Like, you know, I'm feeling as strong as I got right now from the Clippers not on the league. So
I'm gonna have to say, I'm gonna have to go with OKC.
The Thunder.
Yeah. If they continue to play the way that they playing and their brand of basketball, I think they can make it.
So, what you think is the most impressive about the Thunder? You feel like the Thunder can just beat every team in the conference?
I think their MVP player is the most impressive. The way he plays, like
Shai Gilgeous-Alexander.
Yeah, he goes at you. He's not backing down, and also he don't settle. He gets what he wants. If he want to get to the basket, he's going to get there. If he want to stop and hit a mid range, he's going to hit it. So I think it starts with him, and then also they also have the players like a scorer. They have defenders. They have bigs, and they know every player knows their role. Nobody's trying to do something that's out of their character.
So Thunder versus LA, 7-game series.
Mm-hmm.
What's your prediction? How many games to what?
Thunder versus the Clippers, you saying?
No, the Lakers.
Oh, the Lakers?
And I apologize for not being accurate because LA do have two teams, and the Clippers just got their own stadium, so I gotta put some respect on their name. You know what I mean? So as far as the LA, Lakers, that's the more enticing rivalry right now.
I'm gonna say, I would say Thunder in 6.
Thunder in 6, 4-2.
4-2. Yeah.
Now, why?
I would say that the Thunder have a more complete team. Lakers, they have some players that struggle, or some players who, they can't get a bucket on their own, even if you need them to. Like, it's like they have the 2 stars, but you also need them other players to try to make things work.
Well, Dalton Connect, I ain't seen Connect 4. Like I feel exactly what you're saying. I feel like Connect 4 has the ability to make a bucket. We seen that.
He started off good, and then I think that trade and then it got rescinded kind of messed with him. So I think as a rookie, when that happens to you, you like, damn, I thought this team wanted me, and then y'all traded, and then I'll come back. So it's like, if y'all didn't want me here, why would I come back to play for y'all? So it may be a difficult situation for him to deal with.
No, I see that. So, transitioning in the trades, what you think was the best basketball trade of the season to you, and which one was the worst trade of the season to you? And even if it could have been one and the same.
I was about to say, I think it's one and the same. I think we all know the Luka AD trade was the best and the worst.
Okay, elaborate.
Like it was the best for LA because Bron is on his way out. You need another star who can, almost play the same way as him, and that is a superstar and that can bring sales, can bring playoff experience. Because I think with AD and Bron there, that thing it got old. It wasn't because Bron was doing too much. He needed somebody that can help him. And AD was a player, but it was still he wasn't helping him enough, I would say. And then it was the worst because Dallas really got the worst end of the stick because everybody started getting hurt, players going down. It's like they couldn't even put nobody on the floor. It was tough.
Yeah, they like wreck shit.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like pirate shit, like going down.
And they blaming the general manager. I don't think it was his fault. I feel like that came from higher up because as a general manager, I'm not going to do that. That'll jeopardize my job. And being as though he still has a job, I think it says more to it wasn't his call to do that.
And it's it's interesting because it's just rumors of it would just to restore and control the culture. Like your main star player who isn't showing a hunger for nothing more than food, I guess.
You're right.
Even though he went to the Western I mean, even though he went to the championship last year, I guess he came back overweight. He wasn't showing the other players hard work and dedication, and I guess leadership will reflect the rest of your team or whatever like that. So if you was a person in position, like would you choose your star player or would you choose the quality and culture of your business?
That's tough. I feel as though I would choose a star player because he's still young. I feel as though you can still mold them to become what you want them to be, but it's just the way you go about doing it. Every player needs to be talked to differently. You can't talk to every player the same way. So if it is something that he's doing, just try to give him a different outlook or perspective on trying to make a change. But I definitely I'd have kept Luka. I wouldn't have traded him.
Now, are you saying that in hindsight, or are you saying that if you was really in those shoes?
No, if I was really in them shoes. Now, if after I tried to give him a different outlook on it and it didn't change, then maybe I would try. I would do the trade. But before that, I wouldn't have traded him.
And my opinion, I feel as though that you're saying that because you're a coach yourself, and being a coach, you can't just give up on your players,
right?
Because what's the point of being a coach if you can't bring more or bring a potential out of a player? That's the whole point of being a coach. So I felt like that inner coach in you, not just thinking like a shrewd businessman, but understanding that people can grow, understanding some people just wasn't in the environment to receive a message, and it maybe took the 98th time, but when they got their message, they done took off better than anybody you ever taught before. So, I believe you came up that conclusion by understanding the beauty of coaching.
Right.
You know what I mean? So as far as you coaching, how is that going for you? Are you guys 1-19? Are you guys 20-1? Have you competed for any type of trophies or hardware at this current time?
For high school, no, we haven't competed for any trophies. It's I wouldn't say difficult, but it's like you have to teach these kids the fundamentals of the game of basketball first. And some of them understand it and some of them don't. So it's that's the struggle that we deal with.
Not to break your wisdom, you said some of the kids understand the fundamentals and some of them don't. Now, is this like fundamental, like box out, pick and roll, and or you guys watch so much dribbling and Curry? Only thing y'all know is dribble, head down, shoot,
right?
And not even thinking about foul line extended, pick and pop. Box out, close out on the shooter. Everything is I'm gonna get the ball, dribble, and shoot.
That's what you deal with a lot. And then some of the times, most of the kids that I had for high school, just like it was for me, it's their first time playing that way under the whistle. So I can kind of emphasize or feel empathy with them on being nervous out there or not understanding the game. But throughout the year, you can see little increments of them getting better. So that's the main thing that I'll focus on now, and then going into next season, just trying to get them better each game. Even if you don't get a win, it's how you play, whether you're playing hard on defense, whether you're understanding your assignment, paying attention to details. And it's like just the little cerebral things.
Now, do you do like what Jordan do? Do you play basketball still with like your players? Like, do you get out there and actually hoop with your players?
I do, because most of them think that I never play or I can't play. So sometimes you have to go and show them like what I'm telling you to do, it actually works, and just do it, and you will see the results that you would get from it.
No, that's definitely good. So, what do you think? Because you said when you get these scouting reports, you have to learn every last position in power forward, shooting guard, center, point guard, small forward. What position do you think is the hardest to play?
I'm gonna say point guard. I think it's the hardest to play.
And why is that?
For one, you are in control of the offense. You have to know everybody's position, everybody's movement on each play. The ball is in your hand most of the time in the game, you know, from bringing it up the court to setting up the offense and just learning everything about even your teammates, like know your personnel, what this player likes to do on offense, where they like to have the ball at, where they like to catch the ball at, how to make an entry pass. You know, you're just a part of every aspect of a basketball game as a point guard.
No, that's definitely because I was playing center and power forward, but it was since I could dribble some plays, I could be able to play the point guard position. And one time the center was calling for the ball at the 3-point line, and then I gave him the ball. As soon as I gave him the ball, he shot this crazy three. I'm like, yo, why would you do that? And the coach was like, that's your fault. You supposed to know your personnel. You supposed to tell him, hey, yo, go down there, box up. Why is you all in the way at the 3-point line? I mean, he was clapping his hand like he was Dirk Nowitzki. I gave it to him like, no, this was before the Wembeyamas and all that. Like, this was really when the big men should not really be
shooting.
Yeah, and he had the Wembanyama form and everything, but just not the Wembanyama. Shout out to my man Juice. I mean, 6'9". Yeah. So now as far as the AAU, now I'm gonna keep it all the way real as far as my own experience. You know, I might have played only one AAU game. I really haven't had too much experience, but what I do know from the AAU, they like the next top greatest players of America, allegedly. A lot of them like know each other, and they go to like the best colleges, and eventually some of them get in the NBA. Like, what is the AAU world about, and what does the acronym AAU stand for?
I think that the AAU, what it's about is just trying to get certain players exposure on different levels, because there's different levels to it. There's like A, B, and I believe like a C level, but each level has good competition. So for like the higher levels, there are for like players who maybe, you know, have offers or scouts are coming to see them play and things like that. But the main thing I would say that we use it for is just to help players, you know, get experience playing in different areas, different arenas, and just to get them outside of the city. So our program is Philly Soldiers, and it's run by Hakeem. He went to Cheyney with us, Hakeem Townsend, and me.
Oh yeah, Hawk. That's what's up.
Yeah, me and Hawk. So we just do it for that. Yeah, yep. And that's another thing. They don't believe that he has a record or he was a good shooter. So we be trying to let them know, like, no, we really play at a high level. So we're trying to tell you these things. Just pay attention. You know what I mean?
No, we're right. Then we go to like the Final Four or something. I think we went the furthest Cheyney went in a long time. I remember on the senior night, I set a little pick. He hit the three.
Senior night was all that. Yeah.
Yeah. DNP. So, you know, before we wrap it up, and we definitely gonna have you, you know, come back and do some things on our major sports platform.
Okay.
Since we started off with, you know, DNP, you know, what type of character do you feel like being on a team and watching people play for 30 games straight and not get in one game, but you still go to practice. You still doing all the drills. You still got to do all the penalties and got to do all the sanctions and all the would they be babysitting us and stuff. You know what I'm saying? You got to go in at a certain time. It's like you got all these rules, regulations, and restrictions, and you not getting in near not a one game. Like, how was that experience?
I would speak for me. I always wanted to play, but understanding that you may not play every game, the experience for me was just still go out and compete at practice and play hard because there may be a chance. Like if you remember, we had our saying, "Go up a dub, give us some love," because we didn't play.
Yeah,
so it's like it's like at practice, I gotta push these guys to get them better to understand. Like if we're the scout team, I'm gonna go at y'all. Right. One, I may get some playing time, but because they can see I'm getting better. And two, y'all understand like what the other team is trying to run. So just because you are a DNP, you still have a responsibility to your teammates during those times of practice, working out, and things like that to go hard or play and go at them so that they can, get better and understand what the other team is trying to run.
No, and that's real rap because I remember how I got my burn. They used to call me Michael Cooper, no easy layup. Because when somebody thinking they all good and great trying to cross me all over and dunk on me, I've been and grabbed your neck, hacked you, threw you on the ground. Like, and this ain't none of that, bro.
Right.
This ain't none of that, bro. You ain't all fancy pants. Bro, you make a shot on me, you got to go endure, and it better be the most perfect fadeaway up and under. Like, just sit right there and I just let you score.
No, we ain't having that.
Ain't having that. None of that.
Yep.
So it's like, that's how, I got in the game just from being a dog. And it's like, I could dribble and shoot, but my point of the game was to get in there and hack. I got 3 minutes to get 4 crazy fouls.
You gotta make it worth your while in there.
Just so the coach can say, you see him? He got in the game for 2 minutes and got 4 fouls, 2 blocks. Like, you see these stats? It's crazy just to show them, like, go hard. Like, you know what I mean? Like, he got this 2 minutes and he did everything but get a bucket. But you know what I mean? He was productive. You know what I mean? So, like you said, you definitely got a role, and I understand my role was just to make the other players jealous or go hard. Because if I got in the game, that's because somebody wasn't doing what they was supposed to do.
Yep.
So I know I was only getting in the game to make an example out of people not going hard as they supposed to be.
Yep.
And I embrace that. You know what I mean?
You have
it's
to.
like,
you have to.
What it is. And I feel like you said, maybe with these, I done seen a lot of kids walk off course and quit and say, I ain't getting in. I'm tired of keep coming here and I'm getting on the bus, and you know what I mean?
You gotta realize there's a reason why you're not getting in. Like, you may not be showing the effort. You might have to do something a little different. But it's up to you to make that change. So no matter what it is.
So before we go, give someone a tip on what can they do to get inside that game. To go from 0 minutes to 30 seconds to possibly a 10-minute stint on the floor.
Listen to what your coach is saying. If he's telling you that they need this done, they need that done. If it's just they need somebody to go and get 10 rebounds, just go in there and make that your motive to go get 10. If you do that, you're going to see your playing time increase. You're going to see things start to change for you, but you have to pay attention and listen to every detail.
Okay, and where can the people find you at, follow you, if they want to hire you as a coach, get some basketball tutelage, get some words of encouragement? How do they reach you?
Instagram is jsanders0808. That would be the easiest way for now, and it's the main thing that I use.
All right, anything else you want to words of encouragement, man, to the people, Team DNP, anybody you want to do a shout out to, a coach?
Everybody who played at Cheyney with me, well, with us, and all the fellow DNPs, me, you, Emil, Kareem Shelton, that's my guy. Everybody, we had a good time up there, man. We had a good time. For sure. And all the players that I ever played with, whether it was open gym or even on the team, man. I hope all y'all doing well, and I love y'all, man.
All right, salute. This has been TBIC, the best in sports entertainment.
If you're looking for a career in home care, call Medicare LLC. We have the top pay, PTO, holiday pay, medical, dental, 401k. Call now. That's 215-644-8341.